Why there are not many job positions available for Canadian kids this summer? Canadian kids always depend on their summer jobs to pay their tuition fees in fall season, and also they need some money to support themselves. Actually, there's a culture or a tradition in Canada. Canadian kids, especially Canadian born kid, they don't depend on family for their education. So this is a great thing because they are becoming independent, and also they don't want to create burden for their family. When I travel across Toronto, I see lots of lineups in front of Tim Hortons, McDonald's and food courts when there are hiring events happening. These lineups are huge lineups. In these lineups, you can see immigrants and also Canadian kids. You don't find often these Canadian kids, especially in other seasons. So this is only the season they can work for their fall season. When I travel across Canada, so recently I have traveled to Winnipeg, Manitoba. We had an immigrant fair there. So normally new immigrants come for these kinds of fairs. I could see lots of youngsters, Canadian kids, with their resumes seeking a job position, and a lot of lineup in front of resume clinics to improve their resume. Let's come to the point why there are no jobs. To give a specific example, we run our business in Scarborough, Toronto. In this plaza itself, we had lots of businesses. Like other businesses were running, restaurants were there, printing presses were here, and other small administrative offices were here. Many of them got shut down. You can see after the pandemic effect is taking place nowadays. When there is no money with the people, because people are spending their money on mortgages and loans actually, especially the interest, because interest rate is high. People don't have much purchasing power. So when there is no purchase or service happening, no, obviously the jobs will be going away. We had 4 restaurants in the food court here in the plaza, and 3 of them got shut down. You can see more than 20 jobs have been lost there. We should see what are the other opportunities. How can we get a job? From one of the radio interview held by CBC, I have heard some tips from a person like the Canadian kid. So he was telling he had the experience of working in Parliament for 2 years, and he is seeking same kind of opportunity. He was applying, but he was not getting. So he is still optimizing his resume, and he was applying for all the jobs which are available. And he was telling there is no point in applying in person. I don't agree with this because there are small businesses, they are seeking employees actually, the quality employees. Employers are hiring people to improve their business. They have to develop their business through the employee skills actually. So when you apply for a job in a small company, go in person and drop your resume. Speak to the manager there or to the owner there, and go for different networking events actually. In summer, lots of networking events happens. So make your one-page resume, that is also very important. And nowadays you can see diligent people, they make a portfolio for themselves. Whatever projects they have done in past, or whatever volunteer experiences they had in past, they put everything under a link, and they send that link to a person or apply online. So when people see these kinds of real works, employers always get interested in that. So if they see any match between their job description and the skill mentioned, and evidence for that skill is present there in the resume, you may get an interview call. So once you get the interview call, you have to prepare very well. You have to research on the organization. What do they do? And what are their services? And what you can contribute to that company. So that should be your research, and go for the interview. There are chances of hiring actually. When I landed in Canada, my strategy was to prepare resume for each job actually. I never copied one resume to another. There were obviously some similar factors like your education, past experience, all those things are there, but you need to customize those experiences. Especially when you are applying for a team lead position, or when you are applying for an administrative position, you need to see what all projects you have done in past related with that job description actually. So optimize your resume, try your level best, you will find a job. Do not blame the market, seek opportunities, knock, the doors will be open for you. We will be meeting next week Friday with these kinds of sit down talks. In between, I will see many people on the road or in different immigrant fairs. I will ask them their tips. If you have a tip for me, write an email. We can have a podcast with you. Thanks for watching. Bijo Sebastian signing off. Immigrant Tales.